Hi, I'm Kim Smith. Welcome to the 5 o'clock show for the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. I am excited to be part of the art show this June, but for the 5 o'clock show, I'm going to do a little demo. I'm going to show you my painting process and how I paint a party bird, and also give you a tour of my studio. So my studio is in my home, and this is my living room. Welcome to my living room, and you can look around at some of my paintings. I often paint small. I get up in the morning and usually paint a small painting almost every day. I made a commitment, like I guess it's probably been about 10 years ago, because I really wanted to start creating artwork again. I have a marketing and advertising business, TCG Design, that I've had for 30 years. And after raising my children, I just missed the hands-on part of creating art. When I went to school, we did everything by hand. We did marker comps, and everything was drawings and illustrations. And now that everything was on the computer, I really missed creating things. So I made a commitment to get up in the morning at like 5:30 every day to paint. So I do a small painting. Here's a few of my smaller ones. I do a small painting almost every day. And then, oil's my very favorite. I do also do acrylics and play with all kinds of different things, but oil's my favorite. And then when I have time, sometimes on the weekends, I'll work on larger paintings. So these are some things that I would have taken to the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show this June, but now it's a virtual show, and all the different artists that were going to be part of the show will have their few of their pieces in an online gallery, which you can check out at
4th, 5th, and 6th.
It's on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June, 3 days.
I'm going to zoom on your pig.
And that's a pig named Queen. That's one of the first paintings that I did that I decided that I could do this as like a real thing, creating artwork. And that's a keeper. That's one that I want to keep in my home because it's one of my faves. And it's so different from what my style has evolved into. I used to paint much tighter, and I'm always trying to loosen up my style.
We all are.
So you can come check out my studio. This is my dining room. This is my office. This is where I work as my day job, and also where I do any of the digital parts of the marketing business, or the
go back here to these paintings.
So there's a few more of my larger paintings, my anemones, and I also have one here of hydrangea, one of my favorite flowers. And a couple more over here. There's another. Peonies are my favorite, and it is almost peony season, so I'm excited about that. And donut. And then there's one more peony over here.
Ooh. Okay.
So fun. So now you can come to my studio. Watch out, Oliver.
There's Kitty.
Oliver.
Oliver.
He's ready for dinner. 5 o'clock. So I paint down in my basement. It's nothing glamorous, but it's my happy place. Letting you in the inner workings of my space here. So this is where I paint. This is where we're set up. This is for you. And yeah, that's my website, kimmyersmith.com. I didn't know if I had to do that right reading.
No, it's reading great.
Reading well. All right. So do you want me to just get started? Do a little tour down here. Okay. So I have, like, all of my paintings are kind of organized, because when I sell them, I have to be able to find them, which gets a little crazy. But painting every day, I do have a lot. I sell a lot, but I have a nice collection of them. So this is kind of the bird area. And I have another whole thing over here that's holiday. Ooh. And a couple more big paintings. And then you can see over here, my husband put up all the shelves, which are a great way to store the paintings so that you can see them. Because if I put them away somewhere, I'd never find them again. Good is gone. I'm not very good at finding things that I put away. I have an artist's brain, and I kind of need to have everything out and in front of me, or I lose it. And there's toys and everything else here too for all neighborhood kids that come to play. A few more holiday paintings. And I've been playing around a little bit with landscapes too, but my favorite subjects really are food and flowers. Flowers are my favorite, I would say. I do like painting food and fruit and holiday things like I do a lot of Christmas ornaments at the holidays. It's very fun. And donuts. Donuts are always good, but calories aren't good. I guess it's good. The paintings are calorie free, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Always watching out for that.
Let's talk about acrylics and oils.
Okay, so I also paint in acrylics. This is my little acrylic station. I love to, I do a lot of kind of more abstract things, or, you know, it has a whole different feel. Acrylics dry very quickly. Oil paints are like painting with butter, and acrylics are like painting with plastic. And there's pros and cons to both. I like acrylics because it forces me to think differently about my process. And sometimes, like if I'm feeling stuck and I'm not sure what I want to do, or I feel like I have to change something in my process, I'll come over here and just, it's much more playful to me. I'm not thinking as, I'm just kind of creating intuitively. And I feel like that helps me with my creative process. Sometimes I really need that. So this is my little acrylic station. And then behind you here, this is my packing and shipping station. And you saw my graphic station upstairs. And then this is my, oh, we just washed all of my brushes. That's one of the worst jobs of being an artist, is the cleaning of the brushes, especially when you do big brushes. I have a big one, and it takes me forever to clean them. But I am going to do a little demo of painting this chicken named June.
What kind of brushes do you use?
I use the Rosemary and Company Eclipse short flat brushes. They're my absolute favorite.
They come from the UK, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're very efficient with shipping and everything. It's not a big deal to order from them. They're terrific. And I was putting my paints out. I have to put a couple more colors out here. I wasn't not quite ready. I'm always not quite ready.
No problem. Do you lay your palette out the same way every time?
Yes, I do lay my palette out the same way every time, and it's just maybe just a little bit random because I put a lot of my, I would say, more opaque colors across, or my regular colors across the top, and then the colors that I use to mix to like lighten colors, I put down the side. So I'll put a few of those out.
What's this, marble?
This is a piece of marble. I actually got it from like where you go get countertops. I just went and bought a sample. You can also get them like from Amazon as cutting boards. I have one like that, but it has a big darker line. Like you never know what you're going to get unless you can go pick it out yourself. But I got it because I created an online course, and when we were filming it, I was afraid that I usually do like a piece of gray like board underneath a piece of glass, and I didn't want the reflection. So I thought this would be a good idea, and it was, but now I love it, and I haven't gone back to using a paper palette or anything else.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Kutztown University in Pennsylvania. I went for graphic design. I went the practical route, and actually I always wish I had taken like oil painting classes, but in art school, like there's so many fun things. Like I did all my graphic design courses, but I also did like printmaking or silk screening and weaving and all the fun things, life drawing. I loved everything. Like if I could, I loved school. Like I would go back there and do that again in a heartbeat. It was so much fun. But I never took an oil painting class, and we had great oil painting professors there. I just didn't realize. Do you want me? Oh, I can't put my headphones in because it wouldn't be hooked to your phone.
Right.
So my friend Carrie's filming.
Hello.
Carrie Sacco's filming me.
And if anyone has any questions, just type them into the chat.
So I will get started. So I use as my medium a product called Zest It Clear Painting Medium. For that, I just keep it in this little jar. I was working on a larger painting yesterday, and my jar got empty, and I forgot to refill it. So I use transparent colors with just a little bit of this painting medium as my base for my painting.
Gonna zoom in, folks.
Yeah, and I grid my board, and also grid my when I'm going to paint my reference, more just to give myself confidence that I'm going to get things in the right place. To think about where his eyes are.
So we're going to have to speak up a little bit, Kim.
Okay, yep, I
Yeah.
can do that. Yeah, I should have thought and put my headphones in.
So what made you decide to work in oil? You always loved it from college?
No, the complete opposite of that. I never even painted with oil paints ever. What? No, I shouldn't say that. Actually, I did when I was like in 6th grade. I took a class with a lady in my town of oil paints, and I didn't like it because we had to be quiet the whole time. It's like the craziest thing. And I got like I didn't like the smell of the turpentine. So I don't use turpentine now, so I don't have to smell it. But I wanted to loosen up my style. I can paint very tight. I can paint, with wash or watercolor and do things very realistically. But I wanted to loosen up my style, so I decided to try oil painting. And in the beginning, boy, did I make a mess. I made a mess for a long time, but I just persevered and kept playing and working with it. And then something just kind of clicked, and now it's my very favorite because it's like painting with butter. It really is such a great thing to paint with, create with. All right, what color should we make his party hat? Do you think he needs maybe a red hat? I think red.
Yes, we promised a party bird.
Party bird. I love doing the party hats. Let's see, do it. I'll have to come down here a little low. He already looks cute. Okay, now I have to put some background color in there. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to give a shout out. I'm happy to answer anything.
Michelle Collins says this is beautiful.
Thank you.
So you work in thin layers to start with
Yes.
your transparent layers.
Yeah, I do transparents underneath to kind of give it a wet space to work into, I would say. Whoops. Mm-hmm.
And that's your website up there.
That's my website.
KimMyersSmith.com.
And it's Myers. Myers is my maiden name because, of course, believe it or not, it was really hard to get any kind of Kim Smith as a URL. There's certainly a negative to having such a common name. Well, doesn't that look crazy? Now let me put a little dark where the eyes are. I do use a smaller brush when I do the eyes because I want to get more detail in there.
Is this paper or what are you painting on?
I'm painting on Arches oil paper. It's something I've been playing around with. I really love the texture because like at this stage it looks like a watercolor.
And then when it's finished, does it get mounted on board?
It can be different things. You can either mount it on a board, which I've been experimenting with that, or you can frame it. You can actually frame it under glass, or I've done some where I'm mounting it and I'm varnishing it really well and then mounting it so that there's no exposed paper. So that's a good crazy start. It's already the messy middle. I always call my paintings the messy middles, like the part where you think there's no way this is going to turn out. I have some friends who watch me paint on Wednesday mornings, and they always say I pop in to see what you're doing because I don't think it's ever going to turn out, and then I come back to see how it ends. So
somebody said they can't wait to try this with one of their backyard photographs.
Good.
You're inspiring people already.
Oh, hooray. It is so fun. And don't get discouraged if it's hard the first time around. You know, you just keep giving it a go. And it gets better and better. Okay, so I use these. These are called RNF pigment sticks. And it's oil paint in stick form. And this is another tool that just kind of helps me loosen everything up. So you can't get lost in the details too much. Do a little bit of green back there.
Going closer. That's cool.
Yeah, it forces you not to get lost in the tiny details of it. Which is what I can so easily do. With everything in life, I get lost in the details. kind of like, I feel like when I paint, I kind of make a mess and then I carve it out in the end. Color there. It's a big mess.
We know it'll turn out. We have faith.
Hope so. You'll forgive me if it doesn't, right? Okay, now I'm going to mix up some colors. My palette knife. Get this out of the way.
Do you use a range of oil paints manufacturers?
Yes, I do. A lot of them are Winsor Newton, but I also like a lot of different brands. I mean, you know, buying art supplies is such an addictive thing. Like, you can never have too many art supplies, ever. Pink. No, there's some pink like that. I just need to. And I like to keep it fun. Like, I don't necessarily want my painting to look exactly like the photograph. And this photo was taken by someone that I'm friends with on Instagram, and it's a farm here in Lancaster County. I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I need some greens. Really is a pretty simple palette.
Mixing the colors ahead of time is a smart
Yes, when you mix
move.
them ahead of time, it really helps you to keep a cohesive palette. And I also think it keeps you in the flow when you're painting. You don't have to stop and think about color. I like to do the color part, and it was a hard habit to create because I want to just dive right in. I want to get started. I don't want to wait and do that, but it really is important to, I think, to do it this way. I'm always happy that I do it this way, I guess. It's nice, really dark. And I need some blacks. I'm going to create a little bit of my own black.
Using what colors?
I'm using all different colors. I'm mixing my darks in there. And I do have black on my palette too. I'm not opposed to using black, but I do like to mix my own black because sometimes it can be a little richer looking.
My favorite is ultramarine blue and transparent oxide red.
Yes, that's a great combination, and I do have both those colors here on my palette. Like, that's just a little purple, but that looks like colors that are in there for sure. Whereas if I do black, which I can show you, let's see what color that comes out as. And blacks, there are different blacks. Some blacks might skew toward red, some blacks might skew toward, you know, warmer and cooler colors. Completely different gray. Remind me to slow down. I always go too fast. What other colors do I need? I have good greens. Maybe I'll do a completely different green here. Nice to have a variety too.
So do you teach workshops?
I do. I do in-person workshops, which are my favorite, but of course because of COVID everything shifted. But I have an online course called Art in Bloom, and it's 6 different floral oil paintings. And that just started, but that'll open again in the fall. And it's really fun. Okay, so I think that's a good start. We can always mix more if we need it, but that's a good place to begin. And I like to start with my dark colors, and I'll probably do the eyes pretty early on because that gives me confidence that it's all going to work out. I often think that, like with painting, doing things that can help you build confidence, whether it's like gridding the background or different things like that. If you can build that confidence, then the whole painting's much easier. It's like, I think what you're thinking about is almost more important than what you're doing. painting and creating artwork like teaches me so many life lessons. I always say that it all relates. Like if I'm thinking about something, you can think about it in reference to art or life. I didn't mix fun colors for his, I'm going to work on his eyes a little bit just so I have that confidence. I have to go in a little tighter here and size a little lower. Sorry, when I do like parts that are detailed like this, I hold my breath and then I just stop talking. I'm sure you're looking at it thinking, oh my God, that's never going to turn out. And I honestly think that too. That's part of the fun of it, is the challenge of figuring out how to carve it out in the end. It's fun. Become a little pink around that.
So KimMyersSmith.com, right up above the painting, is her website if anyone's just joining us, and you can go on there, check it out.
Thanks for helping me, Carrie.
You're welcome. What about you are on Instagram?
Yes, I'm Kim Myers Smith on Instagram, and the same Kim Myers Smith also on Facebook.
Okay.
All of the things.
I'm coming in.
I might want to pull a little bit of color out of the... Look at that crazy face.
It's working. Here's the reference photo.
I'm just pulling a little bit of the paint away because I want it to look a little more like it's glowing in this area. Pull that out. It's nice that you can use that and
subtractive.
Subtractive, yes. I think of it as carving it out. And I like some of my colors to show through from the background. And even though that color might not even really be in the image. Whoops, I didn't mean to get red paint. Go a little lighter here. Yeah, I love when it mixes what's behind it. Go back into that eye a little bit again. Looks crazy. All right, I think I need to do a little bit in the background. I think this is his tail, his plume or whatever back there.
That looks like it. I wonder if I can get behind you. That might be better. I'm going to squeeze behind you.
Oh, okay, yeah, let me pull this in.
Okay, folks.
Poor Carrie.
Keep the questions coming.
Tucked in here. If you saw us, you'd laugh.
Does going to the eyes first help you focus on the rest in relation to those features?
Yes, and I would say it helps me focus on it. Also helps me feel confident that I can pull it all together. Like if those eyes are looking too wonky, I almost feel like I lose the personality of it or something. It's like I can't think about it or something. If that makes any sense. But yeah, it's good. It's confidence to know that it'll all come together. So I usually wait and do like the lightest colors at the very end. I guess I'll probably still do that. Oops, I'm picking up the wrong colors here. Sometimes I'll do more of an abstract background, but I like this bush back there. Clean, and I use paper towels to clean my brushes. I clean my brushes in between. Like I'll do this whole painting probably almost with this same brush. except when I, do the small part with the eyes. Keep that kind of spontaneous. I don't want to get too tight with it when I'm doing. Just want to suggest it, because sometimes then when you get too much detail in there, it loses its spontaneity or its magic a little bit. All about finding that magic and holding on to it.
So is that paper you're working on, does it have a gesso to it, or what makes it an oil paper?
It's actually called Arches oil paper, so it's just like Arches watercolor paper, but it's built, created for oil paintings.
Okay.
And I do put gesso in it. It doesn't need it. They say you don't need to gesso it, but I actually love putting gesso on things. It sounds crazy, but it's like a kind of that relaxing part of a painting or the creative process where I can think, or not think, I guess, maybe even just kind of get lost in it. So I like that pause of not thinking for a while. So I love to do the gesso part. And I have really been liking the watercolor, but I also paint on ampersand board. I paint on, panels. I paint on canvas, just kind of whatever's around. But this is just kind of my obsession of the moment, is the Arches oil paper.
Someone's curious about your color swatches below.
Right
here.
Oh, I'm working on commissions, a few commissions for someone, and those are colors from her house.
Aha.
Mm-hmm. Very fun. And I don't need to like follow those colors or anything, but I like to have them just kind of as a point of reference to know, what they're, because it's someone I've never met, just to kind of know their taste and kind of their color palette. Another thing to help me have confidence, I think. And I can think, I know those colors. And I can add that in, because I'm doing a bunch of paintings, so I can add that into some of them. What do we do here? I think do some darks. Put a little. All birds should wear hats, right? Go in and clean this edge up in here a little bit. I came over the, whoops. Sorry, I'm holding my breath again. There's so much personality in the eyes. You do a painting, and if you get the eyes right, the rest of it doesn't even matter. I've never really painted people. Carrie, have you ever done people?
Yes, a lot at the academy. But what I found about portraits is measuring, and
you get lost in doing
if they would have had geometry for artists in high school, I could have applied it a lot better. But measuring is a key to a likeness.
Oh, yeah, and that's a whole different way of thinking about creating art. Yeah, I got a little dark too. No, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would take years and years and years of practice. I love doing life drawing. Anybody else have any questions?
Checking for questions. No. Let's talk about the virtual Rittenhouse show. So it's the weekend of June 4th, 5th, and 6th. Mm-hmm. And what kind of things will be going on at virtually for the show?
Well,
Facebook Live.
Oh, yeah. You do it. You say it.
All right, she's concentrating. Facebook Live demos. We have over 100 plus artists participating.
Wow.
There'll be Instagram interviews and a great online gallery, which all participating artists will have 4 pieces. And we would love you to visit that and do a little shopping.
Shopping, yeah, since we can't all be in person. Hopefully in the fall. Let's hope. Life's getting back to normal. Starting to, right?
Yes, we'd like the city to cooperate.
Yes.
We miss the park.
And the Rittenhouse, if you've never been, the Rittenhouse Square is such a beautiful area of Philadelphia, and the art show is like, wasn't it voted like best art show?
Yes, by the artists actually for was that 2019 or 2020? Somebody chime in there who's watching, which was great. It was voted #1, and our September show I think was voted #4. So that was a true honor.
Yes, and it really is a wonderful show. Such great artists and great work. Oh, I need to fix that. That's a little wonky right there.
2019 it was voted #1 show.
Yes, it's actually worth the trip to Philadelphia, and it's Philadelphia is such a fun city to visit anyway. The art show's fabulous. All right, I need to work on the hat a little bit, I think. Whoops, got in that eye again. Keep bumping into it.
She's gonna hold her breath again.
I'm gonna hold my breath again. Then when it gets a lot of paint on there, I can pull it away instead of adding. It's good for the little reflection at the bottom. You hear me holding my breath?
Yeah. Somebody asked, yes, which park is it usually in? So Rittenhouse Square is a park in the city. It sits between 18th and Walnut, and it's one of the most beautiful city parks in the country.
And it's like a few square blocks, but it's square, and all of the participating artists set up their tents around the perimeter of the park. There are students that have artwork in the middle too, but yeah, it's really pretty. Tree-lined streets, and it's just a beautiful place to visit.
So when you work big, are you working on canvases?
Yes.
Usually?
Some of my larger, not really, really big, but I do some on gesso panel. But yeah, usually canvas.
But
because they get too heavy.
Painting on paper is kind of a new thing that you're enjoying.
Yeah, because I like how it looks a little bit like a watercolor.
Oh,
it's always
yes.
been my original love was watercolor. I love watercolors, but I'm much tighter when I paint a watercolor. I like the looseness. Anything that helps me loosen up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you should have a pink hat since I pink mixed.
Sides again.
Okay.
That was my knee.
I corrected. Too much there. I think it's his birthday.
So what do you tell us what you do on Instagram? You paint live every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday morning I do a live painting. So much like what I'm doing right here. And it's just become such a fun thing that I have, a group that kind of shows up every Wednesday with me. And they just watch me paint, and we talk and drink coffee. And it's the next best thing to actually being in person. Wouldn't that be nice? I can't wait till we can do in-person things again. Should I do polka dots on his hat? What do you think? Or her? It's actually a girl. Maybe it's for Mother's Day. Would you wear a party hat on Mother's Day? You could.
You'd have a corsage and a mimosa.
A mimosa for sure. You need that for Mother's Mother's Day. It's coming.
We've had requests to name the chicken.
Oh, yes. What do you guys want to name the chicken? I love that. Naming a painting, I think, is one of the most challenging parts. Unless something comes to you kind of when you're in the middle of it, which can happen, like one of those aha moments, like, yes, that's what I'm going to name this painting. But for the most part, I find it challenging. Forward a little more. Hold my breath again.
So Instagram is at Kim Myers Smith.
Yeah, Kim Myers Smith, and for Facebook too. So Myers is my maiden name. That's where the Myers is from. A lot of people think my name is Kimmy Smith. Because a lot of people call me Kimmy. Although people in my real life call me Kimmy a lot too, so it's fine. But Kimmy Smith. But yes, that's my maiden name since I couldn't get any URL.
So we have chicken nugget or Henrietta hen.
Oh, Henrietta.
So far.
Cute. Chicken nugget I like. Any other name ideas?
Oh, I like the polka dots.
It makes it a little more festive, doesn't it? I need a little floofy at the top now too, like a little. Whoops, got too much on there. It's okay. I like that. I like that spontaneity. I need to make this a little less controlled.
Oh, Chickaboom. That's another good name.
Chickaboom's cute.
Do you have to varnish your paintings usually?
Yes, I do varnish them. I always varnish them. Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Do you use satin, gloss? What's your favorite?
I like gloss because I feel like, I mean, I'm more of a satin kind of girl. Like, I wouldn't normally think that I would like gloss, but I feel like gloss helps the colors really glow. Like, it gets a little, when you gloss varnish it, it brings it to life a little more, I'd say. Do you agree with that, Carrie? Do you varnish?
I varnish. I use satin usually.
I like satin. I could try that.
So talk about how when you first started painting and you were trying to carve out the time, what kind of schedule? So you had your graphic design business upstairs.
Well, actually, at the time,
that's right.
Here, it was I have an office, but we came home for COVID, and I never went back.
Okay.
So I'm still in my dining room.
So raising how many kids?
3 children, and my youngest, when I started to do this, she was like probably 10 because she's 18 now. She might have been 8 or 10. And I felt like, you know, she was a little more independent. There was a period of time when I had like all the neighbor kids here in the morning because I was the person who could be home with them. And then when I wasn't doing that anymore, I started getting up before work every day to paint. And now I can't imagine my life without it. It's like, you know, I should also get up to work out and do all the other things, but this always wins because it always is just such a peaceful way to start the day. Create something, have fun while you're doing it, and then dive into the rest of the day. Here, I'm fussing with those eyes. I don't like to keep fussing. So what else do you think it needs? Maybe a little, I don't need too much. A little lightness in his face, maybe, and a little what was that one name? It's cute.
Chickaboom.
Chickaboom.
Party chicken.
Party. I love it.
Henrietta. Or how about just nugget? Well,
Nugget.
chicken. Yeah.
Chicken nugget? Oh no.
No.
I like
she's
I think
a Chickaboom boom.
Fun. Oh, now I ran out of paper towels. Where are my paper towels, Carrie? Oh, right here. They're never far.
So this video will be posted on the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show YouTube channel, along with a lot of other 5 o'clock club demos and interviews from our shows that are, especially our virtual shows. So if anyone's tuning in now, this will be up probably by tomorrow, but there are a lot of other great videos to watch, and If you subscribe to the channel, we would love it too.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel and follow Rittenhouse Square on Facebook if you're not already.
So the online gallery for the show, I believe, goes live on Thursday evening, which would be June 3rd. So somebody chime in there if I'm incorrect, but it's great. So, oh wait, Anita, let me see, Laudermilk.
Oh yeah, Anita,
Rudy?
Yeah.
5 o'clock chick. I think that's the name.
I like that, Anita. Yes, Anita's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay. So
5
only
o'clock
for
chick is cute.
subscribers. Is that what?
What's that?
If you subscribe to our show or our channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to subscribe to watch it though.
No,
you just
you
get
don't.
notified
Right.
if things come up. And it's always good. Like if there are things you like, it's good to support them and subscribe because then that gets them kind of better rankings on the algorithm. It's all about rankings of everything, isn't it? I think I need a few lights in here and I'm about finished with our 5 o'clock chick. Happy hour girl. Oh, that was this piece.
Okay, so we're at 5:42 now. So just have a couple more minutes if there's any other questions.
So I'll do the little reveal. I always love this part. I'm going to take the tape off. I'll move this
Oh,
out of the
good.
way. It's always fun. I like that rough edge. I like how that looks rough like that.
Okay.
But there's something so fun about doing the hard edge. So I'll pull the tape off. And it makes, it's not a perfect line. And I like that too. I like perfectly imperfect. I'm going to have this all over my hand. So that's what it looks like.
Great.
Oh, I forgot to sign it. I have to sign it. 5 o'clock chick.
Yes, so the gallery for the online Rittenhouse show opens to the public on Friday morning on June 4th. But if you sign up on the mailing list on our website, you can get a sneak peek to the gallery.
Fun. Very nice. That's our 5 o'clock chick.
Yeah, so
it's spontaneous, and I bet you thought it wasn't going to turn out. So did I.
Yeah, so just say thanks.
So thank you so much for coming and watching me paint today. I hope you enjoyed the demo. And again, you can find me at kimmyersmith.com is my website, and I'm on Instagram at kimmyersmith, and I'm also on Facebook at St. Kim Myers-Smith. And it was great to see you, and hopefully I'll see you at Rittenhouse next year when it's in person. That would be wonderful. Thanks for coming. Bye.